Good evening. It is with great joy that we begin our live spiritual direction program. Do you know that one of the perceptions that makes the most difference in life is that of time? Because if there is one thing that has been radically changed in human beings, it is precisely the relationship with time. In philosophy, I remember when I was a philosophy student many years ago, right? The professor told us that the change in how we relate to time caused great transformations. The ease with which we go, with which we return. And at that time, he wasn't yet referring to the ease with which we talk to each other, which has become even more revolutionary. I studied philosophy over 20 years ago. Back then, we didn't have the internet. It was just beginning. We never imagined that we would communicate with each other so easily, so quickly. The possibility of being connected right now didn't even cross our minds, right? Christian mentioned one of your nights. Christian, everything okay? Christian said to me, let's sing that song you recorded, The Bullet Train. He said half a minute before, go online, find the lyrics. We don't know them yet. Even though we like the song, no, we know them all right away. This eases life. He put us like this all the time. I sent a message. Zinho, I talked to someone who's there in the United States first. What should I send? A letter that would take ages to arrive? Then another age to get a reply, but not today. Sometimes you'd make a phone call. It was the quickest way. You record an audio message. You send everything today, it makes things easier. But oddly enough, this ends up creating a carelessness in us over time, which greatly harms the quality of our lives, because it's very contradictory, isn't it? Why do we have such ease in being close today, in establishing bonds, in communicating, and at the same time, yes, it seems with difficulties, in maintaining bonds, in making them last, even in creating that inner satisfaction of having someone in our lives who truly represents that little corner of the world that we seek and that we need for us to be people, so we can be who we are. Because despite the world being so big, we are connected to so many people and there are so many situations. People we know and don't know that if you go here on a social network, look, do you have millions? I practically have. I have practically 16 million followers on social media, counting them all. Facebook, which is another network I don't like, right? I don't have one there, but I have a page. It's my Twitter. My Instagram was collected. Of the 16 million people, they are all accessible here, accessible with a tap. One little tap, you get in touch with people. Now, on the other hand, this world that makes it easier for us to experience encounters also sometimes makes it difficult for us to experience intimacy, which is different, right? It seems that encounters aren't always intimate. Intimacy is that opportunity we have to break the rules of the outside world, so that the rules of this world, which is inside, can prevail. We don't always have the right to privacy. First of all, we are invaded. Is there one thing that has destroyed the contemporary world? In this world today, there is no longer any privacy. We can even have the illusion that we do something secretly, right? But it's all in that cloud. If one day, if this cloud decides to rain, only God knows what will fall from it. It's all our lives in a cloud. Virtual, isn't it? The photos you took that you paid for later because then somehow you didn't look good. That little pout that everyone does in the same photo of there's an impressive one. There are some people. There should be a device on your cell phone that says something like, hey, Dad, do you know what you already did in the previous photo? Change. So it's the same old thing, right? An excessive exposure all the time. A need to tell where you are, who you are with. As if the fact that we don't tell, if we don't show, as if the consistency of what we experience were lost, as if it weren't real, as if it weren't true. No, this intimacy doesn't need to be published, and it's she who makes us happy when you return home, and you identify that little corner of the world. It's what makes everything. Worth it? This song by Anna Valila that I had the grace to record on this CD that we're going to release here at Can Sound Nova at the Feast of Mercy. When I heard it for the first time, you must have also received this recording, which was very simple, right? It was Anna's singing voice and guitar without any production. And there you understand the power of a song. It really didn't need a great arrangement. It didn't need a great interpretation. She sings, unpretentiously, giving a message that we seem to be tired hearing, because we've heard it so many times, that life is worth it, that we need to pay attention to the little things. It's not a new speech. A great performance. She sings unpretentiously, delivering a message we seem tired hearing, because we've heard it so many times, that life is worth it, that we need to pay attention to the little things. It's not a new message. We've heard in other ways, at other times, but suddenly that guitar, those well-connected phrases, how this song opened so many people's eyes and even created a feeling of discomfort with what they were experiencing. Because I have that as a rule, you know? There are situations that if they don't cause discomfort in us, we will even become saturated. So, if I don't problematize my relationship with this lack of intimacy, it's possible that I will become increasingly invaded, allowing this devastation. I'm constantly invading because I accept the invasion, and I'm telling all the time I need to show. And when I realize I no longer have intimacy, it's like you going to dinner with a friend, and the photo of the dinner being more important than what you experienced. And even because I think that some things need to be just ours, right? It doesn't need to be published. But the song arrived and made us realize all of this. There's a very present dissatisfaction today. Even though we talk to each other so much, there's a void within us, a kind of loneliness that this doesn't fill. Ultimately, we really need the encounter of intimacy, because that is what strengthens us. At home, the cell phone comes back. It doesn't go to the table first because it is an antigenic thing. Today I thought it was great because on that morning show, Anna Maria Braga was saying that the cell phone is the same. Money is equal to money in terms of bacteria and dirt. Isn't that scary? Do you have a toilet in your cell phone with so much dirt? Then when I see this on the table, it makes me feel a certain discomfort because I think the table is such a sacred place. It is not the place for our food. So, the cell phone that goes everywhere, that stays on the floor, that goes to the bathroom, that stays in the bag, which is already filthy, that goes to the console of the car, which is also filthy, and then you have it there in the middle of the food you're going to eat. Terrible. First of all, because it's against our hygiene. If I wash my hands to eat, I have to have respect for others. Yes, it's a form of respect for others. I wash my hands. I'll use the same spoon as the person who's going to serve the food. So if I arrive with dirty hands and touch my cell phone, which is filthy all the time, there's no point in having washed my hands. So a rule, because otherwise we won't meet. Nothing can be more urgent at that moment than your food, granting yourself the right to eat with dignity. In Congress, we talk about this freedom that needs to be touched in all its dimensions. All of this, my cousin. So, until when will I go to the table? At first, it might make me feel a bit uneasy, but I'm going to leave my cell phone here. It seems like I'm missing a kidney. It stays there. It seems like my kidney has stopped working. I'm left without my cell phone to write. There's multiple organ failure. Yes, try it. Experience this discomfort, and you will have something to talk about with someone else. You will have the opportunity to actually be with him. Last week, I went to the Amazon to record a segment on Angelica's show. In a beautiful initiative, the show where good happens. I was invited to do it to show a beautiful initiative being carried out by a youth NGO in Sao Paulo. And, well, I can't tell you because you'll see it later. But it's a beautiful story because I went to witness it. I went to see it happen, and for that I spent 2 days there. In the Riverside community, 2 days in a place without electricity. Without a cell phone, of course, because there's no way to charge it. It has no signal at all, and at first it was very uncomfortable, and I remembered what I'm telling you. I need to be free, even to be in a place like this. Because if I have a dependence on this technology that prevents me from being with people, then when you forget, in all honesty, with about 3 hours when I was there, I no longer remember my cell phone. And it was very interesting because the next day it was a 4-hour boat ride, which was 6 p.m., to the nearest city, because it was really far away. When we started, I'll get to the place. Someone said something like, "Hey, do you have cell phone signal yet?" It gave me this feeling of wanting to extend this time. What did it do to me? From the bottom of my heart, it did. Me good. It was as if I was staying. It's getting rid of some of the toxins. That this ease of being in the world and with the world leaves us, and suddenly I was able to experience 2 days where the other, it was an encounter, and not the virtuality that surrounds me. And it was very good, because I discovered that I can stay like this, that I live, I am very connected, that I live. I'm very connected. I have an intense life, can I say? With social media, I don't stop working because of it. I'm a hardworking boy. In the dynamics of my day, my social media is part of it, but I'm talking about something that precedes that. It's about realizing, how can these realities, these situations, deprive us of each other? And suddenly, I lose track of time, which is what I was saying at the beginning. And this song catches my attention. It cleans up my choices, right? If you listen to the Bullet Train, you realize that this little train passes through the veins of your heart and asks you a lot of questions without any interrogation. It's just the girl concluding. It's not about that, the most important thing. It's not about arriving. It's understanding the path. It's not about having money, but it's understanding that, in fact, what is the joy that it can bring me? And then you enter the dimension of wealth, which is not material, because we spend a lot of our time building material issues. You can see, we dedicate very little time to our immaterial riches, which is love. It's forgiveness. It's inner growth. It's reading. I dedicate myself to reading a book to allow that knowledge to come to me. That is immaterial. When a person opens their mouth, they begin to demonstrate that the immaterial that enrich them, the knowledge, the wisdom that comes to us only when we study. Is it all about this? It's about the wealth that we cannot account for with numbers, nor in a bank statement. It's an investment that will not be counted mathematically, but that can be perceived in the eyes of those who are close, in your eyes, that the satisfaction of being here, of starring in the life that you star in, of being who you are, of loving who you love, of doing what you do, is about this. We need to start thinking about the realities and situations that truly matter, that truly cannot be postponed. Sometimes we postpone such fundamental, important questions because of our disordered relationship with time. To hold your child in your arms, hug your parents while they are here. These are very simple questions, and that sometimes enter a person's heart at the right time. I say it again. Our relationship with time. Why don't we notice it? Because we fail to notice time because of how much we do, how quickly we come and go. This week alone, how many 1,000 kilometers have I traveled? Yes, it's good. That's good. You'll come back so quickly. But what about us? How do we stay in the middle of all this haste? How do I realize what's happening? Do you arrive just to carry out, to leave immediately? I don't always live what I need to live there, because I already arrive thinking about where I'm going next. I'm never where I should be. It's like Anna Hickman's living room, right? What a big room where no one is. She says herself, she said. It's the living room where no one is ever. Sometimes we're like that. Sometimes we are never where we should be. The body even went. But I'm already here planning where I'll be in a little while. Or maybe I am. I scheduled to be with you. I talked to you all week on the phone. Oh, how great that we're going to meet. Oh, how great that we're going to spend a few days there, and when you arrive, I start talking to the other. I don't realize you've arrived, or else the enchantment of your arrival only lasts in the first moments. Then I start planning meetings with others. Oh, great, because next week we'll be together. And I'm never with who I'm actually with. We're never where we should be. Because we lack, I don't know, with this defect we're building. The disrespect, right? Sometimes the other person is talking to you. If so, you can tell me that I'm listening, okay? Lie. I'm not hearing anything. Because listening isn't just here. Listening is looking at the other person. It's realizing that in that moment, you're giving them your time. That's what makes us feel heard. In the same way, that's what makes the word have an effect. When you realize there's a connection between the one who said the word and what's being said, if it's not an empty word, the look is empty, the ear is empty. It's very difficult to behold these days. With so many instruments, here we fall apart so easily. It's very difficult for us to have a routine of growth, of personal commitment, of personal search. If everything just stops to throw us out, to make us futile and superficial. We were talking here about the difficulties we face with this busy life, right? And a girl had just sent me a message here on Twitter saying, Father, yeah, I don't often have perception of time. How did she say it again? Don't you have any perception of time? That's it. I don't have any perception of time. How did she say it again? Don't you have any perception of time? That's it. I don't have any perception of time, and my loss is precisely not seeing my children grow up. Is it true? And it's not just seeing the child grow up, right? It's not seeing the father at the right time, because there are times when we can't be far away. There are times when the situation itself places us. But there are times when we have to choose. I think that when life places us, it's not yet a value. The value is when we choose to be. I wouldn't need to be, but I will. And so, a very great anguish, because of this pace of life, we don't have the ability to choose. We lose the right to choose. It is precisely one of the most conflicting points for us in the exercise of our inner freedom. It is when you no longer have the ability to choose. It's like living an addict. The addict becomes addicted as a toxin enters their bloodstream, creating a dependency. And naturally, the person is no longer free to choose from that drug. It's the body that demands it. The body became dependent, lost its freedom because I choose. In the same way, it started out dependent on water. I can't. Am I the only one who chooses to drink water? No. Sometimes I'm thirsty, but sometimes I choose to drink without being thirsty. But my body needs water, but water is good for me. Is water a nutrient? It will hydrate me. It has the power to nourish me, to bring me life. Now a drug? No. And because I'm dependent on that drug, I'm becoming less and less free. Habit also makes us addicted. My people, we become addicted to bad habits. And the more we become addicted, but we lose freedom. And you're absolutely right, because a lack of perception of time deprives us of experiencing the most special things in life. Generally, those who lack perception of time have a need to have special dates for this and that, and only live in the moment of the special date, and the routine, which is what every day is. That opportunity we have to celebrate the smallest of events, right? To always make life special. The simple fact of being together. I talk about this from time to time. At my events, sometimes I meet people who have a habit of having special dishes. That dish on the crest, Lita, don't you look? Wow, how beautiful, right? You only use it for a special occasion, but that special occasion never arrives. What's the matter? It's strange, isn't it? Having dishes we never use. You want something more special than being at home, in your house, with your family, with your children, and that's special. Waiting for a visit. A visit. What visit could be more special than your family? But these are the excuses we make. These are the nonsense we internalize and end up taking away from us. The happy opportunity to live well. You're right. Sometimes our lack of perception of time makes us. It's losing it more and more. The less I notice, the more I lose. It's like when you pick up your phone before bed and say to Buddha, just a quick look, because tomorrow I want to get up early. Just a quick look? I only saw who posted something. Let me see here. Wow, what a beautiful picture. Who is this person? That's where it starts. It starts right there. It starts when you realize. 2 hours have passed. You were glued to your phone. You didn't sleep. You didn't see any knowledge there that could actually make a difference in your life. What if you had still picked up a book to read? But no, you went to see. I'll look at other people's photos. What if you were going to investigate other people's lives? And we do this, sometimes all of this every day. We miss that opportunity to occupy our time in a substantial way. You know, giving ourselves a right to have a healthy routine that could actually feed our mind, our spirit. Yes, because the internet has a lot of good things. Even today I came talking about this with Sadinya. We have the opportunity to have a class with someone we would never have the opportunity to go to, but they're there, they're recorded. If you go on the internet to look for content, you have a lot of good content. But what unfortunately catches our attention is not the content, it's futility. It's nonsense. It's the other person's life. It's the other person's journey. We go there to argue with someone or to post a little flying angels, wishing everyone a good morning. How tired are those little dots of angels there after the afternoon? Good afternoon, after a good afternoon. And the flying angels and the Care Bears? Sending kisses? Our WhatsApp, what comes from these little dancing dolls, is no joke. All the time the little dolls are dancing on the screen. Brilliant. Sending kisses from the heart, making our lives, and we go on swallowing this every day. Every day you have this thing to live, this routine to live. And the worst thing is, you know what it is, there has to be one. The worst thing is, you know that access takes away from the word the possibility of it truly saying something. It's like saying, I love you, to someone who doesn't. Those declarations of love you see all the time online are lies. Best friend in the world says that to everyone. Best friend life gave me. Then you go to her captions. She said that 300 times to 300 different people. So the word doesn't say what it truly says, and so we become empty, hollow. The setbacks, so many setbacks. My hashtag, focus, determination. Summer is coming, and I couldn't take it anymore. Closed body. We're declaring these hashtags so much that we're making idiots, saying that everyone is talking about it. And now there's that wave. It's the only one, I don't know what, that you respect. We've also lost the value of the word respect. Are you silly? Our life is full of, a set of trivialities. It's not about all of this that we need to talk sometimes. Because in our dealings with time, we lose too much of the opportunity to actually seek what can give sustenance to our lives. Just today I was telling Eva, look, the best way for us to grow old is by becoming friends with books. Because if we like to read, if we like to learn, we'll be old people who will keep busy, with greater ease. You won't be complaining. The presence of others makes a good library. I can't wait to have time for this library. Reduce this back and forth a little, and go back to studying a little. You start to build a routine that will make it easier for you to deal with time. And you start to live with more fruitfulness and less superficiality. I say it again, right? We are very inconsistent. The girl is right. We waste too much time on things that have no importance in our lives, and suddenly, that which is screaming for our attention, we don't even come close. We don't even come close. It's not about having all the people, but having just one in the midst of this crowd we have here, the millions and millions of people we can talk to. With whom can we talk? Sure, there's no problem with you having it, but never put those millions above your little corner of the world. That little corner where you put it, where you come back to, it makes you feel good because that's what home is. It's not a feeling that occurs to us when we arrive. If it doesn't, the feeling is just a cluster of walls, isn't it, Laura? It's feeling good when you open the door, however simple it may be. The room is yours. That smell is yours. That configuration. Does it have meaning to you? That's it. It's about that living well, our relationship with time, because life is a bullet train partner, and when we least expect it, it's time to go. And then we leave bitter, right? Because we don't leave all at once. This departure is a process. I'm always leaving. But there comes a time in life when I truly realize that I'm leaving. My youth doesn't allow me to realize that I'm leaving. But as time accumulates within us, consciousness becomes ready to realize that it's leaving. And then it's time. It's a time when the bill comes naturally to us. And we inevitably need to look at the result of the life we've lived. Have you ever noticed when we have youth on our side, you have so much around you? Youth is so full of opportunities that you don't realize you're leaving, even though you've already entered the world leaving. You've lived the first day. It's 1 day less. The child is 1 year old. She is 1 year less. If you want to look at it the other way around, because we don't know how much time we'll have. I know the time I no longer have. I was 45. I don't have 45 anymore. It's likely I will. Less future than I have past. So the sooner you sharpen this perception of time, the sooner they will also fall to the ground. The illusions that prevent me from perceiving this time. The distractions that prevent me from perceiving this time have at least been very distressing to think about. If not, it's no. I'm not proposing a distressing way to do it. Of living, it's a prudent way of living. Today, for example, my friend Monica Lippiani from Belo Horizonte is celebrating her birthday. You know I don't usually mention anyone's name here. PIS doesn't become the festival. Send a hug to my mom, my dad. Are you open? No, but Monica is someone I admire a lot. It was her who inspired me to make the Diva Blades. Ilana, that character, which became a joke between me and her. So, I never made a blade of you there. But she, Monica, is a human being that I truly admire. I admire her so much that sometimes I got emotional watching her live. The other day, she even made a declaration of love, like that, publicly to another friend of hers. She made me cry with the way she spoke. That intense Monica. Monica is a human being to whom Jesus would say, "Here is a being. Here is just like he spoke. Here is someone that I do not find hypocrisy. She porteras her hypocrisy. But is she so out there? She's standard. Plenty of room for hypocrisy. She's a great decorator, a woman of good taste. I learned to love Monica as if she were my sister. When I went out with mine, my story with her began. She decorated my dressing room in Belo Horizonte. One day, Leo pointed out the priest, "Who does the dressing room in Monica?" And it was love at first sight. When I looked at her face, that smile, that spontaneous way. He's very funny. Her Botox doesn't even last 2 days. The doctor told her, "Monica, when you keep making a pen stroke to say that the Botox doesn't even last 15 days. Dr. Jane LaFalla PR Ella directly. She arrives. I think she'll give me expired Botox. She says it doesn't last at all. Then we clear that slate. She's a human being who's a pleasure to be around. And if there's one thing she's matured in over time, I say this with all the love in the world, she knows it. About 15 days ago, she came, hugged me, and said, 'I thank you so much for my spiritual growth, for everything God has done in my life through you.' I knew this spiritual growth from what I know about her. The spiritual growth she's referring to is the ability she has today to distinguish what matters and what doesn't. Because despite being so special and having no room for non-fulfillment, there was a moment in her life when she got lost in herself, making choices that weren't right, that weren't choices that God would make for her with her. We get lost along the way. We betray ourselves. So Monica was betraying herself a lot. She was making decisions and choices that hurt deeply. And when she hugged me and said she grew a lot spiritually with me by my side, I knew she was referring to this perception of time. And that's it, my people. Celebrating a birthday? What does that mean? Yeah, you perceive time. It's you looking at what you've already lived, at what you've already chosen. And you stay comfortable in the face of everything that didn't work out, but also in the face of everything that was worth it. It's you looking at the mathematics of your days, the mathematics of your life. I don't know how long you've lived. I don't know what it is. Your number today? I don't know how much time you have left. That's a mystery. But you, in this math, come to the conclusion that you're at least fair with yourself. You're being fair. Is your relationship with yourself being fair? Because you're realizing the time. You're not allowing yourself to be carried away by all these technologies. Rethink that all of us, we thought Monsignor Jonas Habib was crazy. When 30 years ago in a sermon, I heard this man say, in the very near future, we will all have a chip. We will be tracked. We will receive everything. All the influences of the world in the chip that we will have. Everyone thought he was crazy. That was 30 years ago. I was at that sermon. He said it was a movement of modernity. That at the time, people talked a lot, that they call it the New Age, remember? Within the charismatic renewal, there was a lot of talk about the New Age. Monsignor Jonas saying that the New Age would come exactly so that the devil could access us very easily. Through a chip, I thought he was crazy. Is it here? The chip is here. Yes, the devil can access me through it. For me, to take away the people who love me, to lead me to betrayal, to lead me to an exposure of the worst in me, to make me be inelegant with people, to make me pay attention. On a small screen that deprives me of the world that is around me, or to stay, to make me become whole, to make me interested, for a world that is not mine, that has absolutely nothing to do with me, That does not enrich me at all, and that only takes away my time, which is the most precious thing we have. Saramago, in one of the last interviews he gave, a beautiful documentary. At the end, several reporters nearby, next to him, with questions love, have you won so many awards, have you been so awarded? What would you still like to win at this stage of life? He stopped, thought, and answered, time. I would like to gain time. It is this, my people. It is the greatest wealth that a human being can have today. It is time, you see, to read the work you would like to read, to be in the place you would like to be able to do what you would like to do, value yours. In the routine of your life, do everything so you have your time, for you to realize. Realizing you, live with the quality you deserve. May Almighty God pour out His blessing upon us and grant us the grace of being enlightened by His tenderness, His love, and His wisdom. He wants a Father, Son, and Holy Spirit too. See you next week, God willing.